Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Are you concerned with troubling times ahead? I am, because we look at all the things that are going on in our everyday life around us. We have unrest, we have riots, we have tariffs, bugs, but that's not what we're afraid of. We have unrest going on not only in our cities, but around the world. There are lots of things that are upsetting to us that we may not be able to control what happens with the food supply. And so if you look back over the last few years, we had the Black Lives Matter, we had the pandemic, we had unrest, get away. We had unrest during the elections. We've had all kinds of protests in our cities even this summer. And historically, if you look, when the summer gets very hot, the crime rate actually goes up. That's one reason it's nice to live in Alaska, because it never gets so hot. But there's actually correlations between how hot the temperature gets during, say, the hot days of August and the crime rates in major metropolitan areas. I thought it was remarkable when I read about it, and I don't know if it's something that you're aware of, and maybe you want to look into it if you live in a hot city, to think about how can you protect yourself even more as we get into the hot days of summer. But in the meantime, we can prepare. A lot of people say, well, I'm not able to prepare. I don't know how to begin. I don't know what I would even need. And what you want to think about is, what are the basic things that you count on having every single day? Because prepping is lifestyle insurance. You want to have a few extra bottles of water on hand. So if your water stops running, you have water that you can drink. Everybody needs water no matter what the day is, whether it's an emergency or not. Everybody needs a supply of fresh drinking water. Then if we look at some of the foods that are either the production has decreased, or countries aren't allowing exports, or just because of what's happening, the shipping is down, or the rain has made the crops less. There's all kinds of reasons that we don't have the actual crops that we need, and so then we may not be able to have our most favorite food on hand, or it may become very expensive. Some of the food items you may want to stock up on this summer while things are still available would be cooking oil, like olive oil or any kind of oil that you like. Look through your supply and see if you have enough to get you through the next few months. Oil can last in your pantry for about 2 years, so you don't want to get so much that you couldn't use it up, because it will go rancid. Another item that we're always hearing is in short supply, or the prices are going up, is coffee. What you can buy is instant coffee, because instant coffee, like it's freeze-dried, it will last the longest. Coffee beans get rancid, they get stale, but the freeze-dried instant coffee lasts the longest. Chocolate is something else that people love to have, so you might want to stock up on something like cocoa, because it doesn't expire. You can have cocoa as one of the forever foods. Chocolate has oils in it, it will go rancid, it will get stale, but cocoa is a great thing to have on hand, but then know how you're going to use it. Have some ideas on how you can provide the chocolate treats that you want using cocoa. If you don't know how to use it, it isn't useful to you. Stock up on a variety of canned meats that you enjoy eating. I have just an example of small cans, because that's a good size for me. I have some chicken, I have clams, crab meat, and salmon. You can get all kinds of meat. Don't forget the fish and seafoods that you enjoy. Maybe you want to pick those up too. When you go to the grocery store, look along on the meat aisle, and if anything looks interesting, maybe pick one up, take it home and try it. But if you're not sure if you're going to like it, just buy one and take it home and try it. Don't stock up on something you haven't tried in case nobody wants it. If you've ever had kipper snacks, that might be something that you want to think about. You don't want to have a dozen of those if no one likes them. Think about your spices and seasonings. I was looking through my recipes, things I want to prepare, and I was running low on time, so I picked up an extra container of seasoning. Seasonings right now are like $1.24 at Walmart, and they are, $1.25 if you have a Dollar Tree near you. So it's a good time to pick up 1 or 2 extras. Look through your seasonings, see what you need. If there's something you're missing or a recipe that you want to make, pick up 1 or 2 extras so that you have them on hand. If you buy them in a small container, they can stay airtight, sealed up, and then they're not going to go stale. They're going to last and be fresh much longer because they're all sealed up. That's why I buy them in a small container rather than the big jumbo ones. Also, I don't have a giant family, so I couldn't use all that up in years on some of those big ones. Wheat products have been something that we have had the prices rising, and we keep being warned the wheat harvest is down. Some countries are not exporting, or other countries are importing from places we used to import. It's all complicated. So what you want to look through is, do you have your basic food supply items that you like that are made with wheat? So like, for example, I picked up an extra package of a stovetop stuffing because it has wheat in it, and then I'll have that. I can make a very simple Thanksgiving type turkey or chicken dinner in my crock pot. I'll put a link to that recipe on how I make a turkey or chicken dinner in the crock pot, and it starts with a box of stuffing mix. You can also look at other easy to prepare foods that include wheat, and they're so simple to have on hand. If you need dinner in a hurry, you can open a package of, say, Knorr pasta sides. If you want some quick breakfast, how about some of the Betty Crocker muffin mixes? You only need to add water to these. And you're supposed to add a little bit of butter, I think, to some of these pasta sides. But even if you don't have any butter on hand, you can still prepare it. It may not taste exactly right, but it can still make a good meal, especially if time is in a hurry, you don't have any money, and you need to get a meal on the table. Put something together like a pasta or a rice side, add in a can of meat, stir it together, serve a vegetable on the side, and dinner is ready. You can get going again, and that's sometimes what we need to worry and focus on in an emergency, is keeping life going along as smoothly as possible. Prepping is lifestyle insurance. We want life to keep going, and putting breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the table is what helps keep my life running smoothly on a day-to-day basis. Something to consider health-wise is that your body needs vitamin C every single day. Your body can't store vitamin C. You might want to consider getting a bottle of vitamin C tablets, or even look for something like a vitamin C lozenges, or they're like cough drops or supplements. These are tasty too, and they could even be a little treat if you don't have the fruits and vegetables that you need. Then think about the foods in your pantry that do include vitamin C. For example, cans of tomatoes. We of course prefer to get our vitamin C in our natural foods. Citrus fruits have the most. Maybe you could add some mandarin oranges into your canned food. You can also think about the fresh fruits and vegetables that are high in vitamin C, and make sure that you're incorporating some of those in your meals. Things like strawberries, cantaloupe, bell peppers, and even things like Brussels sprouts and kale and broccoli. There are a lot of foods that have vitamin C. Those are just some common ones that I can think of right now. But think about making sure you're getting the nutrition that you need. So these are just some suggestions of foods that you may want to include in your prepper pantry, your food storage stockpile, so that you have the things, the basics that you need, that you have some things on hand. If prices go up, you still have them at yesterday's prices, and so then you have a bargain when you're shopping in your own pantry to make your meals. Then let's also remember, be satisfied with what you have, use the foods you have, and if you can't get the foods that you want, be satisfied that you can get something, and choose foods that, of course, you would hope they'd be your favorites, but even if they're not, choose something that's palatable, and then, be thankful and satisfied, and go ahead and eat that food, because maybe the next meal will be even better. Every meal can't be the best meal you ever had, or you'd never know when anything was really special and delicious. So there are some boring, oh well, we had a meal, and that's can be good enough sometimes. Anyway, that's my theory in life. I hope you'll like my video, share it, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.